Chapter 9, Creatures in the Night. Lilla's quill hovered over the parchment, her mind lost in memories both warm and bitter. The soft glow of the candle barely reached the edges of the room, but she did not need eyes to see. Her hands knew the paper, the ink, the weight of her past pressing against her fingertips. Her parents had passed peacefully, their bodies giving in to time rather than tragedy. In a way, it was a gentler fate than most suffered. They had lived long, fulfilling lives in Arcadia, using their knowledge to help others. And Lilla? She had taken their lessons to heart. After their passing, she devoted herself to the abandoned children scattered across the continent. She did not wait for the lost to find her. She sought them out, traveling from village to village, city to city, offering aid and taking in those who had no one. No child deserved to be alone. She had found Dietro in the ruins of a burned town. She had found Argia cast out for her frail health. She had found Nika wandering the roads, afraid and silent. Each of them had a story, a past of pain, but in her orphanage, she gave them a chance at something better. And yet, despite all her knowledge, all her power, she had never been prepared for what happened that night. A sharp crack jolted Lilla from her thoughts. She stilled, her senses sharpening. The noise had come from outside the window, like something breaking under pressure. For a moment she listened, only the quiet hush of wind through the trees. Then, another sound. Something had broken. Lilla rose swiftly, moving through the orphanage with careful steps. Her fingers traced the walls until she found it. The bathroom wall was cracked. The stone was cold, the break jagged. It wasn't natural, something had forced its way in. Panic flared in her chest. She turned, heading for the children's room, counting the small breaths. 1, 2, 3. Nika's bed was empty. Lilla didn't hesitate. Magic surged through her veins as she lifted her hand, weaving the familiar spell. Locate person, Nika. A pulse of energy stretched outward, and within seconds she felt it. Nika was outside, deeper into the woods. She ran, barefoot, her robes flowing behind her. She moved with purpose, her connection to the divine guiding her even in blindness. The air was thick, damp with the scent of leaves and earth. She could hear the girl sobbing before she saw her. And the shadows around her were moving. Tiny figures, no taller than her knee, flickered in the moonlight. Dark fae. Their small, mischievous eyes gleamed as they chattered in whispers, their hands outstretched toward Nika, offering strange gifts. Gleaming silver berries, glimmering trinkets that seemed to shift in and out of reality, woven bracelets that pulsed with soft light. But Nika only cried harder. Lilla stepped forward, her presence calm but unwavering. Enough. Her voice was steady, though she made no move to strike. She is afraid. The Fae turned their attention to her, their expressions shifting from curiosity to recognition. Ah! The blind one sees us. She hears us. She knows us. Lilla ignored their eerie voices and knelt beside Nika, placing a comforting hand on the child's trembling back. They mean no harm, she said softly. They are not monsters, Nika. They are the ones from your dreams, the ones who wanted to play. Nika sniffled, looking up at her with wet, red-rimmed eyes. But they scare me, she whispered. They don't understand human fear, Lilla explained. They do not see the world as we do. They only wanted to give you gifts, because that is how they make friends. The Fae giggled, some twirling in the air like autumn leaves. Yes, yes! Gifts! Gifts for the small one! Lilla reached out and took one of the trinkets from a Fae's tiny hands, a woven bracelet of shadow and light. It did not feel unnatural, only different. She held it up for Nika to see. It is not cursed, nor is it meant to hurt you. It is simply a gift. You do not have to take it, but you do not have to fear it either. Nika hesitated, then slowly, cautiously reached for the bracelet. The Fae cheered. She takes it! She takes it! Now she is our friend! The air shifted, and just like that, the shadows dispersed. The creatures faded into the night, their presence slipping back into the unseen corners of the world. Silence returned. Nika clutched Lilla's robe, still shaken but calmer now. They won't take me away, she asked, voice small. Lilla wrapped an arm around her. No, little one. They never intended to. She could not explain the Fae, not fully. Even if they wished to, the Fae themselves could not always define what they were. But she knew this. They were not evil. And perhaps one day, Nika would understand that too. shadows that linger. After that night, Nika was never truly alone. Wherever she walked, a small lump of shadow followed, clinging to her presence like a forgotten whisper. It was not ominous, nor was it a threat. It was simply there, shifting slightly in the dim light, curling around her feet when she sat, flickering along the edges of her small frame when she ran. Lila saw it for what it was. One of them had stayed. A dark fae had chosen Nika, refusing to leave her side. Whether it was protectiveness, curiosity, or a bond unspoken, Lila did not know. She only knew that the child did not seem afraid anymore. She had accepted its presence, and in turn the fae had remained. It was not the first time Lila had seen such things. Years ago, in another place, in another time, she had come across a village nestled near an ancient forest in the heart of the old centre. The people there spoke of fae kidnappings, of mischievous spirits stealing away naughty children, never to be seen again. The tales were old, whispered from parent to child, a warning wrapped in folklore. Lila had listened carefully, but she had never trusted fearful stories at face value. So she went into the woods. For days she searched, through tangled roots and shimmering glades, through pockets of magic where time felt slower, where the wind carried distant laughter. She followed the echoes of children's voices, neither entirely human nor entirely fae. And then she understood. The missing children and the fae were one and the same. The forest had not stolen them, it had claimed them. Fae did not take children out of cruelty. They took them because no one else would. If a child was unloved, unwanted, if their parents did not search for them, did not fight for them, the fae welcomed them into their world. And in time, those children became something new, something not quite human anymore. Lila had seen them, young faces with eyes too old, too distant, their laughter carrying a hint of something otherworldly. They were not lost, they had simply moved on. Perhaps the dark fae who had gathered around Nika that night had been the same. Perhaps they had been abandoned children once, waiting for another to join them. Perhaps if Lila had not come, if she had not reached for Nika, the little girl would have slowly become one of them. The thought settled uneasily in Lila's heart. She looked at Nika now, at the shadow always lingering near her feet. It was a reminder of how close she had come to losing the child, of how thin the line was between being saved and being forgotten. Perhaps the fae had not meant harm. Perhaps they had simply wanted to give Nika a choice. But Lila had already made that choice for her. She would never let her be forgotten.